6. Command Toga, SRS runway, all thrust is loose. Main on thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel here. Another V1 Simulations live stream coming at you from North Texas. It's been a while since I've been able to stream. Almost 2 weeks now, has it been? I know I was supposed to stream last weekend. Something came up. I do apologize for that. Everyone that was waiting for the INI stream. I am planning on doing another INI stream here. Maybe I was even going to do it today, but there's a lot of things I want to talk about with the MD-11, so I figured, you know what, let's just get right into it. Everyone is doing it. Let's just hop on the train and fly the MD-11. Guys, today we are flying the Western Global livery. I'm showing my camera unstuck there. But this is a livery, I know they're based in, well, at least they had a headquarters in Fort Myers, Florida, but the scenery just was meh. So I quickly changed it. We're over here in Tampa International Airport. I've got some of the cargo doors open and I've got the stairs to the cockpit. I don't have the loaders up. I'm not like actually loading. That is modeled. You could do that. But I just wanted to get a shout out to everybody that's been asking me about this. What do I think about it? What do I think about it? Should I buy it? So I got bombarded by so many of you that we're here and we're going to do this stream right now. Now, I've tried to do some self-study on this airplane. There is a lot on this airplane. This airplane comes with a lot of manuals, a lot of information. I have probably just scratched the surface on my level of knowledge, but I'm going to work through it today. We got a little bit of longer time in cruise, so we can go through some systems, and I'll be happy to show you guys anything you want to see on the airplane if we can figure out how to do it. So, without further ado, shout out to some of my members in chat. Orlando Mitch, good to see you. Ivan 008, Fubar, Lolar Pilot, Ryan NL, Freedom BW, Scott. I am Dimitri. Good to see you here. He says, taking a short break from work to say hi and how you get on with the new bird. Dimitri, it's interesting. My initial impressions are interesting, but the prospects are exciting. So we'll talk more about that. Critter, good to see you as well. And Miss Jungles, good evening to see you, Miss Jungles. I can't imagine you'd be around for too much longer. I know it's late out there for a lot of you in Europe. I got a lot of European viewers. So glad you're stopping by. Glad to see you here as well. Pede Monitor, good to see you. Hey, Pede Monitor, do we have any current MD-11? Hell, I guess it's all cargo, so I don't think we have anything that we could fly as members of PVA, right? I think we have to wait for maybe the passenger variant to come out. Darn it. But good to see you, Pede Monitor. What's up, man? Happy to have you here as well. Steve, no bueno signal here. The woods camping. Uh-oh. Well, have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by, Steve. All right, guys, so there it is. MD-11, Rotate, Western Global livery, kind of bland, but I've seen a lot of FedEx and UPS, so I just wanted to fly something different. Let's go ahead and turn the music down. We'll get into the cockpit. We'll talk a little bit more, and there's a couple of things here that I want to go over with you. Alfie Douglas, a 15-month membership, a subscription celebration. Thank you so much. Hot damn, she looks fine. Alfie, so she does look good. The external model is very good. Now, I know everybody is excited, and we want to ask questions about it, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of go into a heads down mode. I'm going to get the airplane loaded up, and I'm going to get the box initialized. I'm going to be kind of heads down, so just hold your questions, hold your chat questions. Once I kind of get through the box, I'm about to 70% there with the box manipulation, so I may fumble around a little bit. Then I will get much more interactive with you in chat. So once I go into heads down mode, I just want to get the airplane aligning and get us going so we don't sit on the ground for over an hour. Any chance for a DCS Apache stream? Freedom, you know, I've been tooling with that all week. I've actually been playing with that Apache. I love the Apache, man. DCS. My love for DCS has been rekindled. I've been getting back into that pretty hardcore. More to come on that later. Maybe a stream, maybe a video. Freedom, good to have you here. Thank you for the 25-month celebration. So, aircraft show 738. Oh, yeah, let me fix that. Boom. I think that'll fix it here. Give it a second. Update the MD-11. So, another plane to separate the men from the boys. Alexander Belidi, exactly. Piedmonter says it depends when the passenger version comes out. Might try to do something for summer. Excellent, Piedmonter. I'd love to see that. I'm hoping, I don't know if I do a VA tomorrow. If we do VA tomorrow, it's going to be in the PVA, Piedmonter style stream. So, all right. Let me go into the cockpit here. I'm going to kind of go heads down mode. You guys just bear with me. I'm going to kind of show you around the cockpit. I know everybody's probably seen the cockpit by now, which is good. I'm also going to double click that. I don't know why. If you have a Honeycomb, a Bravo, for some reason you have to just, my easiest fix is just kind of click that down when you get into the cockpit. Otherwise, it doesn't fully go down and lock. Now, don't accidentally put the gear handle up because the gear will be tracked on the ground, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure that would be inhibited. But yeah, don't put the gear up because the gear will be tracked on the ground. And if you put it back down, though, you can extend them on the ground, which is interesting. But beautiful cockpit. You guys have seen it. So let's go ahead and just power it up here. I'm going to go up top. I'm going to get the battery online here. We're going to fire that up. I've got external power hooked up to the airplane already. You can hear the battery juice coming on. I'm going to go ahead and go external power to on. With the external power on, let's go ahead and just brighten up the cockpit. I don't know if it's my monitor or my GPU. So there's a lot of things I'm going to say that I don't know if it's my system limiting it, but I've found the cockpit seems a little dark, and I don't think these lights work. I've tried to mess with these over here. So I immediately just turn the lights on when I get into the airplane because I feel like it's a little dark, but I think it might be something to do with my GPU and my shader settings or whatnot. Aviators take quite a time to align, so let's go 1, 2, and 3, just like the Airbus. We got 1, 2, and 3. That's cabin air smoke alarm there going off. We'll go ahead and arm the emergency exit power. We'll arm the emergency exit lights. They are on. Pretty much we're going to leave the overhead panel right now. We'll leave the defog in the off position. This is all normal off, ignition off. As far as lights, we'll do logo lights on. Chicks dig logo lights. Let's get the logo lights on. Freedom, your pit is dark too. Okay, so maybe I don't know what's up with that, but it's not bad. Especially for streaming, I think it's better if I turn all the lights on. And we're real time, real weather, by the way, so that's what this flight is going to be about. All right, we've got that. Let's clear the master caution. Look at our freaking ECAM. I'm going to call this an ECAM. I know it's not an ECAM, but that's because of all the doors there. What I want to come down and do here is I'm going to go to FMC. I'll do that. Flight plan, init, align IRS. Perfect. We're going to do that. We're going to go from Tampa now over to Cancun. For everybody who's been around the channel, I don't think I've ever had I've probably done maybe 5 or 6 Cancun streams, and every single one of them something has gone awry, whether it's we landing in a hurricane in a 727 or we have an engine fire on departure. Just all kinds of crazy stuff happens in Cancun. So we're going to test the waters again. Tampa down to Cancun. Geo 26 months says, all right, MD-11 class 101 session is in, or class 101 in session. What's up, Geo? I don't know if I would quite call this 101. Was there anything below 101? Like maybe this is, you might pick up something of the high school level of education here on the MD-11. I am not very knowledgeable yet, but I'm working on it. I am looking forward to working more on it myself as I get more time to study the aircraft systems. All right. Oh, and for those wondering about the MD-11, have I ever been on one? Funny enough, I used to jump seat on the MD-11 a little bit. I had a couple commutes on the MD-11, mostly UPS, and when I flew cargo for my freight operator, I would actually have to beat the MD-11 or the A300 in on one of my outstations because of a cargo ramp space situation. So I never flown the MD-11, but I'm intimately familiar with its jet blast and how it can pirouette a Beech 99 on the ground if you're behind it and they're trying to add thrust. So we'll talk more about that later. But let's go ahead. Remedial class. There you go, Chris Stooper. It's remedial training. Exactly. I'm just going to go ahead and just start closing up some of these cargo deck doors. I know you could totally simulate them here. You can actually do the whole loading situation, but I just want to clear up some of the warning panel there. So I'm going to close up some of those. We'll leave the cockpit stairs on, and we'll leave the cockpit door open for right now. You can see we have ground power, wheel chocks are on, and the stairs are set. Perfect. Let's go to the load manager. Total payload today, I have from SimBrief 170,000 pounds, which is pretty much a pretty good load. 170,000 pounds of cargo. Our block fuel, let's take a look at that. Our block fuel to Cancun is 30,000. Our gate fuel is 55,000. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. What did I say? 30,000. I feel like that's not enough, but we're going to try it here. You know, we're going to go 30. I'm going to give myself, what was our taxi fuel? Taxi fuel is 2,000. Yeah, we're going to need more than that because I'm a rookie. So let's give myself 3,000 pounds of taxi fuel, and I'm going to give myself total block gate fuel 322 is 55. So actually, we're going to go 55. And I'm going to, you know what? Let's just round this up to 74,000. Jeez, 74,000 pounds of fuel here because I'm going to be much slower on the ground. We're probably going to burn a lot of excess gas because I don't know what I'm doing. So we're going to take more fuel than necessary. And this is still, I mean, look at this thing. This can take 253,000 pounds of fuel. That's insane. So we're going to take, let's take a nice, you know what? Let's take 80,000 pounds. Just it sounds good. 80,000 pounds, 3,000 taxi. We're not going to worry about the ballast tank. I've been playing with the ballast fuel, and it's been driving me nuts. I pretty much almost stalled it because I was messing around with the fuel configurations earlier, and I pretty much ran the trim all the way out, and it was interesting. So I'm going to leave the ballast tank off. You could select ballast fuel here. What is ballast? It's basically dead weight or fuel that you would not burn. So we're going to leave that off for now. Trip fuel to calculate landing weight. Trip fuel is just up here, which is our Tampa to Cancun, which is hour 37 en route, 30,000 plus, 67, 46, call it 40,000. So let's just check our, you know what? We're not going to burn enough gas here. Oh, no, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. So even if we burn 30... Let's see, even if we burn 33,000 pounds, we're still going to be below our landing weight. That's what this is. This is what it's here for. So you definitely want to test this out, especially if you're going to be taking a ton of cargo and not a lot. You want to make sure you're under your landing weight. You can see here the landing weight goes red there for a little bit if you only burn 7,000 pounds. But we don't have to worry about that. That is good. I'm going to just go ahead, apply, and load this into the FMS straight off the bat. There's a lot more you could do, but this is what we're doing to get us going right here. You can see our CG and zero fuel weight CG are good to go. Our takeoff CG is a little sketch, 29.2. So you know what?
Subscriber ahead. Look,
let's move it up. Let's going to move it up 13.4. So takeoff CG is 30.3. Now we're going to just reshift that cargo around. Now we're looking good. I believe Captain Canada said this should be 30 to 31. I don't know I don't know why. I haven't researched far enough in there. I'm just going to take his word for it. We're going to put it right at 30.3, so that should be good. And the way I changed that was you just adjust the Mach. This is mean. Oh my gosh, this is taking me back to freaking ground school. Like mean aerodynamic chord. Is that what it stands for? Percent of Mach. Anyway, basically where you're going to be loading the CG of the cargo. All right, we've done that. Let's close that. That's enough stress. This is my heads down moment right here. I know you guys got questions. We've got 2 hours en route to talk. Let me go ahead and get the rest of this box loaded up here so we can get on our way. Our alternate is Mike Sierra Delta. Our flight number today is Whiskey Golf November Western Global 357. Our cruise flight level is 340, which seems low, but we'll go ahead and just leave that. Outside air temperature is minus 49 up there. Let's go ahead and throw that in there. Headwind, we'll leave that blank for now. Cost index, we're going to go ahead and rip out there at 88 on the CI. What's this? Will it auto-populate this? Now, I'm curious. Do I have a headwind component in SimBrief? This is one thing I haven't checked out. So, it's actually minus 46. It's changed. Let's go minus 46.
Subscriber ahead. Look
Tropopause is 525. I don't see a tropopause entry here. Wind correction, headwind of 45. Average. I just want the direction. Let's try this. Let's do the whole thing. Negative 46 slash 0, 4, 5. Nah. All right, so I don't know how to enter headwind. All right. It's fake pilot emojis. Here we go. Anyway, we'll leave that blank. We have enough gas. We already took like twice as much. All right. Position reference. We're still doing the aligning thing here, right? Correct? Yes, we are. All right. Return to init. We're looking good. Flight plan. That's one thing we know how to do. Let's go ahead and pull out our flight plan selection here. Oh, gotta type HD. Gotta type HD. Remind me, I'll come back to that in a minute. What does SimBrief have for winds here in Tampa? Winds 190 at 5. So winds are 190 at 5. I want to depart off 19er. That's good. It'll get us going in the right direction. I think we're going to go off 19er left. That'll be the closest runway. Exactly. We're coming out of the cargo ramp over here. We're going to take Echo all the way to 19er left. So we're going to go SID 19er left, and the departure is the Gandhi 8 departure. Transition of Sabi. Insert that. Scroll down. You can always dump fuel. Exactly, Team Vodka. I'll get that headwind here in a second, guys. Let me go ahead and finish this with flight plan loading here. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of a mix of an Airbus and an MD-80 and a Boeing. It's definitely a hybrid. All right, after Sabi, direct to Charlie Yankee. Almost seems like they had engineers from Boeing and Airbus working at McDonnell Douglas. So, Carter, Tunsil. After Tunsil, we got to join the airway. This is straight out of the Airbus playbook right here. Airways Yankee 196. Now, I wasn't able to link airways. Let me try again. Yeah, see, it won't let me link airways. I don't know if that's a bug or a feature of the MD-11, but basically you have to put in the fix. So Kanoa will be the transition. Smitty, welcome to Commercial Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board. Welcome. Always good to have members here on the channel. Thank you so much. Welcome back to Commercial Pilot, Smitty. Glad to have you on Team Green, sir. All right, so Yankee 196 to Kanoa, and then we're going to just have to put in the other airway here, Upper Bravo 879. And then that's going to be to NOSAT. And then that's where we're going to pick up the arrival. So we'll go ahead and hit insert there. We're going to go ahead and continue to scroll down. Here we go. Moon arrival. I want to land on, oh boy. It's been a while since I've been to Cancun. Let's take a look here. I believe 12, ILSDME 12, number 3, or whatever they always say down there. Let's see. Take a look here. Airport 10-9. 1-2 left. Now, yeah, they always land on 1-2 left now because Alpha 3 is open. This is open here. So we're going to plan on the ILS 1-2 left, number 2. Okay. off the NOSAT-1 Bravo insert. All right, so just like in the Airbus, we're going to go to plan mode, which is up here. But if you want to just go through your flight plan, if you hit the flight plan key on your McDo, it will always bring you right to the top of your flight plan. So if you're like in the middle somewhere and you're like, where am I at on my flight plan? Just hit, and you don't know how to go up or down because this is backwards to how your brain would actually think it would work. Just hit the flight plan key, and that will always bring you right back to the top of your flight plan. So I'm at the top. We got a vector departure pretty much. We're coming down. We're going to not fly all this. We're going to go direct to, and there we go. There's our turn. Basically puts you on a downwind for the ILS DME 1-2 left, and then if you go missed, you go out there and hold and try it again. So that looks good. Our flight plan is in the box. Secondary, I don't know. I don't know if this is how you would program the secondary, so I don't know if this is a bug or a feature. We're just going to go ahead and leave the secondary flight plan blank. Let's go over to perf now. Thrust limits, trans 18. We are not going to derate. We're going to just go straight out of here, yoga. Takeoff 109.5, no flex. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, we're takeoff 109.5. All right, so takeoff approach, no flex. Slope out of Tampa. I don't remember let's see. I think it's on the back of the 10.9, right? But it's pretty much, I don't know. We're just going to leave that blank. Outside air temperature is, according to sim brief. And I know you guys got questions. Again, this is just my heads down, plug away here. Let's just go ahead and get through this. We're going to do a flaps 15 departure. Flaps 15, 29 AT, no flex, no slope wind. You could put that in to be more accurate. We're going to be a pretty darn light. I guess I shouldn't say that, but we're definitely lighter than we could be. Takeoff gross weight 498,000 pounds with 30.3 on the CG, stab 4.8 down. Beautiful. That is done. Up to the top here. Let's go ahead and fire up the APU. All right, we're going to talk some stuff here. Now I'm back to the chat. This has been released, Lucas, so I'm back to the chat. Thank you guys for putting up with me there as I went through the kind of the initial setup phase of the airplane. One thing I want to say is you guys know how much I love sound, okay? I am a huge sound fan, whether it's any sim, whether it's a military sim, whether it's X-Plane or flight simulator. You guys know I always said, you know, when the Tolas came out, we need a sound pack for it. BSS came up with that. Fly-by-wire mod has their own sound from Boris. I've always been a huge proponent of sound. And as a simmer, when you lack the ability to feel G-forces, the ability to actually be in a full-size cockpit, we have to do other things to make our sims realistic. So we look for visuals, we look for systems depth. Some of us go into cockpit building, we get peripherals, right? A key component to making a flight capture you and make it realistic, in my opinion, sound is huge on that. In my respectful opinion, the sounds on this airplane are I would say, I don't want to say poor, but I would say they are sub-average, okay? A lot of it reminds me of just default X-Plane jet sounds. Now, I know people say the cockpit is very quiet up front. It is quieter. It's actually not as quiet as an 80. An MD-80 is the most quiet you can get because the engines are all on the tail. You still have two giant engines out here on the wings. So the cockpit does have a lot of loud fan noises, and you know, it's been 10 years since I've been in the cockpit of an MD-11. But I was a little disappointed when the sounds, when I did my first couple flights with the sound. So as you can hear right now, the APU is on. It is what it is. I got my volumes pretty much all the way up to the max here for the exterior sound. So it is what it is. We'll talk more about it in cruise. There are some sounds that are good, but I just feel like that is one key component that it was just a swing and a miss. I'm hoping they will be updated in the future because I think this aircraft has a lot of good potential. Now, when I make constructive criticisms like this, I get a lot of hate mail, I got a lot of hate in chat, I get a lot of hate in DMs. Guys, I couldn't make an MD-11. I'm not a developer. I couldn't create this stuff. I'm just giving you my opinion. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and they all stink. And this is just my opinion. You're watching my stream. I'm giving you my opinion on the sounds. I think they're a little bit lackluster in this airplane. So I don't want to beat a dead horse. That's probably going to be the end of the sound conversation. but I had to get it out there. Let's go ahead and get back into the cockpit. You can see right now the ambient sounds are actually quite good. Let's go ahead and get the APU bleed on. That will go ahead and get our packs on. We'll go ahead and disconnect the external power. While I'm up here now, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the aircraft menu. Let's go ground ops. Let's go ahead and close the cockpit door. Let's go ahead and pull the stairs. Let's pull the wheel chocks, and let's get rid of the GPU. Clear the caution. Those lights are going to go out here momentarily. In my opinion, it's a great aircraft to fly. I freaking love flying it, but yeah, the sounds are bland. Daniel, yes, so the flight model, which we haven't even got to yet, I'm enjoying quite a bit, actually. So I've done 2 landings. One of them was really bad. One of them was decent. And I've done some stalls, and I've crashed it once. So the flight model is fun to mess around with. We'll talk more about that in cruise. Do I play VATSIM? I am on VATSIM. Al W, glad to see you back. Hope your roof survived the storms. All good here. Al, glad to see you back in the chat. Yes, we survived the storms. Man, we had a tornado go 7 miles. I think it was like 7 miles or so away from the house. So pretty wild weather here. But Al, I'm glad to hear that your roof is intact. Everybody's good. All right, let's go ahead and get the defog off. I'm going to stand by on the beacon. Everything else is good. Let's get the no smoking. Seatbelt signs are on. This is in auto. Everything is good here. We're cleared up down here. I'm going to put this back into map mode. Scroll the range down. Let's get ready to call for push. We're just about ready to get out of here, guys. Which is good because what do we start at? Oh, man, we've only been streaming for 30 minutes or so. Excellent.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground
That's
to
where I want to
cockpit.
go.
Tow is driving up.
I just bought this and can say it's bloody glorious if you can live with the day one bugs and the sound. The systems are incredible. However, that horrible heading zigzag. Face and face more. You know, I have not run into, knock on wood, I have not run into the chasing of LNAV path. I believe Captain Canada had that issue. He was the only streamer I watched that flew this airplane. Q8, I watched Q8. I don't believe Q8 had that issue yesterday or 2 days ago when he streamed it. So I have not run into it yet. I don't know what's causing it. I think it's just kind of random. Some people get it. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't. Not sure what's up with that. Chris Stuber says power back. No. Knox Gaming, I was going to fly out of Fort Myers. That just the scenery was too mass. So
Okay.
I backed
All
it up.
doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, we're going to turn down that radio volume. You know, I backed it up because I didn't want to be going out of the scenery down there. I was initially going to go out of Fort Myers. That's indeed what I was going to do. Standby 2000. We're going to go TARA here for VATSIM. And that's active VHF. I think that's like the 3rd radio, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and get the beacon light on. And I think we're good. The wings are properly sooty, indeed. Oh, I had this pinned up here. I'm going to remove it. That's not RSW. No, it's not RSW. I had to remove. I had to change from RSW.
Inserted. Release parking brake.
But this is. You guys want to see the wing textures? I am a huge proponent of dirty airplanes. I like dirty airplanes, and if you like dirty airplanes, this one is extremely dirty. Which, you know, old cargo birds, they were pretty dirty. So. All right, she's ready for push down there. We're ready for push up here. Oops, let me uncage my standby. Let me just do a quick look over, make sure everything's good. Let me set my altitude here. We don't have ATC on, so we're going to set 340 as our top altitude. Let me make sure my push to talk does work. We need to be on a Unicom. .22.8, right? Boom. Where are we at? Where'd that UPS go? There was a UPS here. He gone. Tampa traffic, Western Global 357 Heavy. We're going to be pushing off the FedEx ramp here, taxi into 19er left, Tampa. Adon, welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board. Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks in chat. All right, she's ready for brake release. I'm ready for brake release. Brakes release, clear to push.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Why are they dirty though? Just older, man. You know, why do I like dirty airplanes? Because I feel like every developer that makes an airplane, they create a what's it called? Like just a factory fresh paint job. But you can see here, we're in the cabin. I mean, we're in the cabin with the APU on, and there's, I mean, I know nothing's running, but it almost feels like there's not a true dynamic sound pack, right? Like I move through the airplane, it doesn't really sound like, I don't have any air conditioning back here, but I guess it is cargo bay, but it should be ventilated. I don't know. You guys tell me. Definitely a whacking parking brake. Exactly, Captain Tom. Cam, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, sir. Glad to have you on board. We're going to be going off 19er left, which is 187 on the heading. So we're going to set 187 over here on the heading bug as well for our departure. My only flight on a tri-jet was on my first trip to US of A out of Schiphol on Northwest. Never saw this plane in India. Thank you, Paul Walker. Thanks for joining the stream, man. Yeah, I flew on a Northwest MD-11 before. I think I did that maybe a handful of times. My fondest memory on a tri-jet was an L-1011, though, going to Hawaii. Maybe definitely a DC-10. I flew on the DC-10 a little bit. But I was much younger. Didn't really know what was going on. Wind is 310 to 13. According to Tampa, wind here is 190 at 5. According to Fort Myers Active Sky, we have 190 at 5. How is it on frames? It's heavier. It's heavier on frames, I will say that. I'd say probably Q400, when the Q400 first released. Remember, it was a little bit heavier on the frames. I would put it up there with the Q400.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brakes set. Clear disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start engines because they take about 4 years to start. Let's see. Today is an even day, the 24th. So we're going to go with ignition Bravo. You can hear the packs cut out there. Auto pack cut out. We're going to go 3, 1, 2. One other thing, too, is you can't pop out the screens. At least that I haven't been able to figure out. So you can't pop out the screens. It kind of sucks. Waiting for 15%. N2 here. DC-10 from DFW to Hawaii. Awesome, man. Simple Takeoff. What's up, man? Welcome. Yeah, AJ, I would love to see an L-1011. There's 15%. We'll go ahead and light her off. Let you guys enjoy the startup sounds.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Paul Parker, I was definitely younger. It was, to date myself even further, it was an ATA L-1011. All right, so you guys hear those sounds? It almost sounds like, to me, maybe the sounds in the cabin or from this view are of the same audio level that they would be up at the cockpit. Even then, I think they're too low. I know you can open the window. We'll open the window on the next one. But, yeah. So you get start out lights off. Here we go. Number 1 is spooling. Oh, I wanted to open the window. We'll spool this one up with the window open. No startup sounds from it. Yeah, they are... Here's what it is, man. I don't know if it's a bug or whatnot, what they're trying to do, but here we go. Here's startup from Cockpit with the window open. So you can definitely hear more. All right, let's go ahead and close the cockpit door before I forget. Or cockpit door window. There's 1, 2, and let's go engine number 2, which is our third start. Aviator Trav says, I think after 5 years we all expected perfection, and it's not perfect by any means, which I know nothing is perfect on release, but damn. Aviator Trav, I can understand exactly what you're saying. I think, you know, I mentioned this a little bit when I was talking to some of my members in Discord too. It's like it's nobody else's fault but my own that you build up expectations. And I'm not saying my expectations aren't met with this airplane, because I am thoroughly enjoying the flying characteristics of it. But there are definite things that I look forward to them improving in the future. Take off with the window open. Alright, there is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so those are started. Let's go ahead and kill the APU bleed. We'll go ahead and kill the APU power. That is start, stop, off. That is good. We're going to do a flight control check here. Now, this is one thing I got to figure out is, do you do the flight control check before or after extending flaps? So here we go. This is just like, if you guys want to know what this is exactly how the Embraer 170, 190, you do flight control checks as well. You look for the green boxes. And I remember one day I did an aileron check, and it was basically, let's see if I can do it. It was basically like that, except it was the inboard. We wouldn't extend all the way. Or it was, no, it was the elevator. I think it was the elevator. The left elevator wouldn't, like when you do this here, I think it was like this one here didn't go green. Definitely an issue if that happens. All right, flight controls are checked. We're going to come back over here. We're going to set 15 on the dial of flap. We're going to go 15 here. We're going to arm the spoid brakes lever there. We're going to come back down here. We're going to go back to engine. And we need to verify our trim. Negative 4.8. We're at 3.0. We're going to walk that sucker back. 4.8. 4.8 is good. Brakes off. Do a quick config check. That looks good. All right. Let's go ahead and taxi light on. JetKid says, I was on the fence. This is the A300F by INI Builds. I think my mind is made up. Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys make up your minds on what you do. I'm not going to tell you you should or should not buy any airplane. Well, I'll tell you if you shouldn't buy it if it's bad. I don't want anybody to waste their money. But as this content creator, as a streamer, you know, I think part of our duty, instead of having fun flying airplanes with you guys, is to show the airplanes for what they are as they come out, so the other simmers in the community can make decisions for themselves. I am using my tiller, by the way, and it is freaking fun to taxi this thing around. Now I think we have to go here, so we're going to come to the right. One thing about this nose wheel on this airplane is you really have to monitor your ground speed. It's easy to get going fast, and then you just can't turn, and then you go into the dirt. So you can definitely snub the nose wheel if you're not careful. Try to keep that ground speed below 10 knots on any 90-degree turn. All right, we'll do our cinematic taxi by, as we always like to do here on the channel. So flyby on the ground, taxiways. You guys can take a look at it. I'll be quiet as she comes by. I would put this Q400 frame rates, Martin. Oh, Tampa ground is online. Tampa ground is online. We're going to hold short here. We'll hold position. Let's get back on center line. But yeah, there's your flyby on the ground. I'm going to get on center line here. We'll hold position. Tampa ground is online. So we'll go ahead and stow the taxi light. Set the brake. Let's call ground. Ground is 21.7. Probably going to have to get a clearance as well. Let me get a pen. I actually have paper in the office now. I don't have to use my YouTube chat as a clearance. Well, that was underwhelming. All right, that's because the brake's on. All right, here we go. Tampa ground, good afternoon. Western Global 357 Heavy. We're on Juliet, holding short of Echo, ready to pick up IFR to Cancun. Please tell me my push-to-talk worked. It did not. I don't think it worked. Okay, here we go. Tampa ground, good afternoon. Western Global 357 Heavy. We are on Juliet, short of Echo, ready to pick up IFR clearance to Cancun. Helps if you turn the volume up. Tampa ground radio check. Ruh-roh. VHF 1, 21.7, mic is on. Ha! Tampa ground, Western Global 357 radio check.
Western Global 357, Tampa ground, coming in loud and clear.
And Tampa ground, Western Global 357 Heavy. We're at Juliet, short of Echo, ready to pick up IFR clearance to Cancun.
Western Global 357 cleared to Cancun International Airport via the Gandhi 8 departure. CB transition, then as filed. Maintain 6,000. Expect flight level 34010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 122.8. Squawk 4327.
Our Western Global 357 clear to Cancun, Gandhi 8 departure, Sabi transition as filed, climb maintain 6,000. Expect 34010, departure is 22.8, squawking 4327 for Western Global 357.
Western Global 357, read back correct. Put taxi runway 1 right, taxi via Echo, Sierra Delta, cross runway 28.
All right, we'll taxi to 1 right via Echo, Sierra Delta, cleared across 28, Western Global 357. All right, we got a lot to change here. First things first, let's get a squawk code in here. 4327, apparently we're going the other way now. 4327 is in the box. Top altitude of 6,000. We're gonna set 6,000 now. $6,000 is set. All right, departure frequency is 22.8. Our box, we got to flip this around. Remember, top of the flight plan, F plan key.
And Western Global 357, Tampa ground. I forgot to tell you the altimeter. The altimeter is 29993.
29993 for Western Global 357. Thanks, sir. All right, 1 right now. Or 1 right, manual leg. My speed's the same. Takeoff approach, they are the same. They are not. VR and V1 are now white, so we're going to go ahead and clear them out. We'll go ahead and clear that. We'll clear that. We'll go boom, boom. 37, 36, 69 is set, all magenta. I'm making a left on Echo. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. We're ready to roll. All right, left turn on Echo. We're basically going to flip this sucker around. Echo, Sierra Delta, cleared across 28. So Echo, Sierra, and Delta cleared across 28, which is that center runway. Beautiful. And he said 29903, right? So we got to change this one too. 29903 set. All right, we're making a left turn up here. Guys, I don't know what happened to my tiller cam right now. I don't have tiller cam on, but I am using my tiller. We will have yoke cam. I'll get my yoke and throttle cam on here for y'all. But I am using my tiller. My cameras are being funky. So I'm going to have to reset that later. This is why we took a little extra fuel. Alright, so Echo, cleared across. We're going to go ahead and cross that, so I'm just going to go ahead runway turnoffs on. Let's get back on center line here. We are clear right. And essentially we are clear left, and we'll clear across. We're going to make a right turn down here and then another left turn. V-speeds are reset because of the fuel burn. Interesting. Okay, well that makes sense. V1 VR reset. Alright, so right turn on Sierra. We're now clear, so let's go ahead and kill the turn-offs. Alright, let's see if we can make the turn here nice and easy. Slow it down. Crank it over. A little bit of differential thrust here wouldn't help. So the differential thrust can definitely help you still, because it's not really a true... I mean, it's definitely a tri-jet, but I mean, like a, you know, the 727 when you got 3 engines on the tail, doesn't work as good, you know. But the MD-11, DC-10, L-10, you could still use that differential thrust, really kind of help you out in the turns as well. Left turn here, all the way down to 1 right. Some of the clouds keep flashing. That's just a limitation to the clouds I use. Anderson C, yeah, the cockpit sounds are decent. I will say though, like even at application of, the engine sounds are still too quiet from up front. And just from what I mean, and you know, this is, but look, try to find a video on YouTube of a cockpit takeoff. You definitely can hear the engines up front. It's not like it's an MD-80 where they're all on the tail. But, you know, the MD-80, when you're up front on that sucker, it is quiet on takeoff. MD-11 DC-10s.
Western Global 357, Tampa ground. Departure services are closed. Frequency change approved. Have a great flight.
Hey, thanks for stopping on for the ATC. We'll have a good one. Talk to you later. Western Global 357. All right. It looks clear, so I'm going to go ahead and light it up. Everything else is on. That bridge. No, we don't have to go over any bridges today, Tom. Did we go over a bridge? Don't go over what bridge? I'm not going over a bridge. You know, we're good. We're going to 1 right. Oh yeah, we got to flip the heading bug around. Thank you, Red Elephant. Once we line up on the runway, we will flip the heading bug around as well. It's cool though. I like having ATC step on and keeps you on your toes. At least we got a proper flight plan now too. If we pick up any ATC on the way down there, we're already good to go. Runway 1 right is confirmed. I love using this tiller, man. I think we undershot it a tad, but that's pretty good. All right, runway heading off 1 right is now 007. Let's flip this around. All right, 007. Push that. Takeoff clamp is on. Did I get all my lights on? Boom, boom, boom. What? High intensity lights? Oh. You guys ready? Let's do it. We're going to go yoke cam activated. Night mode yoke cam. Spool it up. About, I think it's like, well, I can't remember the angle, 70 degrees or something. Where you actually hear it come and grab the throttles. Hear that little high-pitched ping? Packs are out. Wait. We don't have... What's up? There we go. Jeez. I was like, we are not going to take off at 70% thrust. Speed's alive. Thrust set. Knots check. V1. Rotate. Nice and easy. Positive rate, gear up. It's easy to undershoot these command bars. I don't know if they are that aggressive in real life. Flyby.
Terrain.
Oh, that's why you don't do that. Go ahead, lower the nose a little bit. We're going to go ahead and go into profile.
Stabilizer motion.
I'm going to go ahead and dial this up now. 340. And I'm going to turn left 280. Heading 280. Here comes the flight director. I'm going to redirect us here. We're going to go direct to flight plan. Let's go direct to Gandhi. Insert. Might be a little bit too far in the turn. Let's go nav. Autopilot 1. Flaps are coming up. Slats retracts. That's SR. I'm going to decrease my range here. That's a really tight turn. She's going to struggle a little bit. Let's go direct to Gandhi again. That'll smoothen out that turn a little bit. Wow, that came right up to the limit there. We'll go ahead and get rid of yoke cam for now. We're a profile climb now. Going to 340. We need to go ahead and derate here. Let's go climb.
Stabilizer motion.
Now that flight director is a little bit more stable. Let's redirect it. Flight plan, Gandhi, hit it. Now we're looking good. 250. AP1, nav1, 340. Sooner the flyby. Yeah, I closed the window. Definitely closed the window. Let's get another flyby in there. All right, we're going to straighten out the line. We're going to go direct to Canada. We're going to go present position. That's not. What fixes that? Kanoa. Direct to Kanoa. Insert. We're going to straighten out the line a little bit because we were originally supposed to go from Fort Myers. So there's 10,000. Let's go ahead and pull the lights in. Get the turn-off lights off. We'll leave the logo. We'll go ahead and kill the logo light. What the heck? We are pressurizing. Now out of 10,000, our profile climb speed is 346, as indicated over here. Definitely kind of like got the Airbus vibes. It's like an Airbus MD-11. Stabilizer what? Did she say motion or caution? That was weird. Pretty sure she said motion. Do another flyby. I have three throttles. You can see there. I got 3 throttles on the quadrant. I'm running the Bravo. Love the Bravo quadrant. We do need to go ahead and get our engine anti-ice on here. Flying through some pre-sip. We got 3 throttles on the Bravo. Love the Bravo, man. It's so like compatible. You can change it.
Stabilizer motion.
You can change it with a lot of different airplanes. All right, so it looks like she's going to go for 346. That's moving. I thought we were going to Cancun. Yeah, that was my bad. Not much to see here, though. I mean, you can see the wings are nice and dirty, though. Why she keeps yelling stabilizer motion? Because you don't have a visual trim wheel. So here's the thing: if you don't have a visual trim wheel, you're gonna see you have to have some type of alert. The FAA said you have to have some type of alert of trim moving. So all the way down to small airplanes. The smallest airplane that I can think of, and there's probably others, is like in the Beech 99, which is the unpressurized King Air that I flew a lot of. That had a trim movement click sound because there is no trim wheel in the cockpit. You can't see the trim moving, so you need to know that the trim is moving. And how do you do that if you don't have a trim wheel? You got to have some type of audible alert. So it's either beeps or clicks or stabilizer motion. So that's what that's all about. Exclamation point sky for all the cloud stuff. Climbs faster than an Airbus though? Heck yeah, man. No, this thing has got some serious performance on it. I mean, with this serious performance on this airplane. All right, we can zoom out the range a little bit here. And every time you hear those, that's the, I can't remember the name for it, basically the auto throttle system. 345, 15,000 feet, direct to Kanoa. I'm liking it. What do I think about the textures? Eric Christopherson? You know, let's take a look at it. I mean, let's go to the one where it's all in the sun so you could see. I'll come out of the little porthole window here so you don't have to see that. That's kind of a little bit better, I guess. My texture opinion, I mean, it's better than anything I could do. It's not bad. It's dirty. I like dirty airplanes. It kind of, I don't know if it looks a little flat. Like it looks a little flat, I guess. Does that make sense? Almost like it's, remember when they used to make those cockpits that were photo-real cockpits? I can't remember what the name is, where you actually, it's actual real pictures. It almost looks like this is a real picture of a wing that's on top of a wing texture. I don't know. It doesn't look bad. I don't think it looks bad. I honestly think, my honest opinion though, is I think the MD-80 wing looks better, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think the MD-80 wing looks better, but I don't think this looks bad. LNAV seems to be behaving. Yeah, see, LNAV seems to be doing good right now. Ben, you don't think the wing textures are standard? Up to standard? Same, hey, I'm not going to argue with you there. Everyone has got their own opinion, right? We always talk about our opinions. I'm just here to give you guys what I think. And just one thing that, you know, if you have an opinion, just be respectful of it, okay? Because unless you're your actual developer that's actually making textures, I mean, you have a hard time defending yourself talking trash on someone else's work. But I think constructive criticism is good. I think it keeps developers honest. I think it keeps everybody in check. But I honestly, you know, I'm not mad at the wing textures at all. I'm really not. I did notice, where were we? Over here. There's like a little particle effect here. I noticed that earlier, one of my test flights. I saw that, but I'm sure that'll be cleaned up. It's just an easy thing to clean up in the next patch or something. Chewie was very disappointed with the textures. So let's look at, I mean, you can wrap textures up into a whole bunch of different categories. You know, as far as the cockpit is concerned, I will say this. I don't know if it's stream quality. You know, I think streams through YouTube, compression, all that stuff will look different. I'm running on a very moderate system. I have a 1070 graphics card. I guess I should say a moderate GPU anyway. My system's pretty hardcore, but as far as my GPU, it's very moderate. It's just a GTX 1070. So I don't have everything maxed out. And I thought that, you know, from what I saw, that the cockpit textures maybe weren't going to be as clean as they are, but when I actually got in the cockpit, I was pleasantly surprised. I think these cockpit textures are very good. I think if I could put it to something relatable, maybe like the I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's a relatable airplane that it reminds me of. I mean, honestly, it's kind of a lot like the MD-80, you know, from Rotate. It's very clean. I think they're very good textures all the way around in the cockpit. The McDo is nice. I love seeing the wear on the yoke here like this. This is really nice. The backlighting is nice. The knobs are all worn. So I think the cockpit's actually a pretty good job. I wish I could pop my screens out. Maybe that'll come in the future too. We're out of 18,000. We don't have anybody on board, but we'll go ahead and just turn the seatbelt sign of no smoking off as well. Now, we'll do a full-blown cabin tour as we get going, but You know, if we look out here, I mean, I don't know. I'm spoiled because you guys know I like the Cartage Wool engine mods. I would put like the engine stuff is very it's on par with like default toeless. You know, as far as the engine is concerned, I think it's like default toeless engines, about the same there. The leading edge, I actually like the leading edge. I like all this dirt out here and stuff on this wing. I think it looks pretty good. But something about it, like I said earlier, especially here, it just looks kind of like a flat texture. I don't know what. Photoreal cockpit, is that what it used to be? I remember playing, was like Falcon 4.0, and they had the photorealistic cockpits. It was basically just pictures of the real cockpit, so it wasn't a 3D cockpit, but it was the picture of the real thing. Let's go outside. We'll do the outside view. Actually, you know what? Let's just stay in the cockpit until we get to cruise altitude, and then we will do a full-blown review of the outside. You guys, I mean, the model looks really good. Y'all have seen the model. The model itself is pretty darn good. Oh. We never went over to Unicom. 22.8 is set. Well, we'll camp it out here for a minute. Kind of looks like SSG, yeah. Carta approved the engines when the first trailer dropped. I guess, you know, I'd have to look more at some more MD-11 engines. I mean, I'm zooming way in on it, but it's not bad. Oh, maybe the Flight Factor 350. I think I'm getting Flight Factor 350 vibes. I don't know if it's YouTube compression, but the wing gives you SSG E-Jet vibes. Yeah, I see that. Glad to see your LNAV is working as it should. Anderson, do you see? Yeah, I have not had the LNAV bug. So my LNAV seems to be working just fine. Taiki, yeah, we talked about the sounds. I know you guys are probably coming in and out of the stream. The sounds are very substandard, I would say. Exclamation point sky for the clouds, guys. Exclamation point sky for the clouds. Hey V1, you getting the drunk bug? What's the drunk bug? No, I'm definitely not getting the drunk bug, man. I got some water and tea here right now. DCHH 64 talk now, freedom. Yeah, man, I'm loving that Apache, dude. It's I'm loving the Apache. I was thinking about doing a stream in DCS, but streaming in DCS is pretty challenging because if your attention is not out in front of you, you're gonna get wiped out. So it's kind of hard to stream and be interactive in a combat sim, you know. All right, we're looking good here. 31.3. Let's do another flyby, shall we? And the flyby sounds are not bad. The plane tried to pull a barrel roll on Captain Canada? Uh-oh, I missed that. I still prefer the Mi-8 to the Apache, though? No way, dude. No way. You know, the Apache, it takes a certain mindset, I think, because the Apache can't do a whole lot when you break it down. I mean, you got Hellfires and rockets and a gun. That's it. So, you know, the MIA, you can drop bombs and all that stuff. And we're getting off topic. This is an X-Plane stream, but we'll have to, I think we're going to have to do a DCS stream here pretty soon. Do I think it's worth the money? Michael Foster. God, that's, you know, I don't want to... At its current state, I don't know. I think it's going to get a lot better. Here's my thing too. You know, when you say, is it worth the money? Everybody has different expectations. My personal expectations, and this will date you depending on how old you are. So when everyone says, oh, the MD-11 is coming out, probably 80% of you were thinking cargo ops because that's all you ever knew is cargo ops on the MD-11. Me, and if you were born probably, I'd say, what would be 90, probably about 1990 or earlier, you were probably thinking passenger operation when you heard the MD-11 was coming to X-Plane. I was thinking passenger. You know, I wanted to do some Northwest stuff. I knew it wasn't a DC-10, but I knew someone would probably make a Pan Am livery for it as to do passenger ops. So I was constantly thinking passenger ops, and then you find out that passenger variant will come later. It's like, oh man, after, you know, however many years we've been waiting, it kind of, your own expectations. But again, that's nobody's fault but my own. So I was a little bit disappointed that there's no passenger variant on release, but, you know, I'd rather, I don't know, it's hard to say. Would you rather be waiting for the version of the passenger version to come out and just be upset that you don't have it yet, or would you rather get a plane that's not complete and complain about it because it's still not complete? I don't know. You're a 1992 boy and you want to do passenger ops? Yeah, I was really looking forward to passenger. You know what? The thing, cargo didn't even cross my mind, ironically. It didn't even cross my mind. And then I was like, oh, it's only going to be freight only for a little bit? That sucks. But, you know, at least this gives me some time to learn the airplane. You know, we looked at the manuals, and we'll look at it here when we go on the outside view here. Now that we're in cruise, let's just make sure everything is good here, because I do... In a new airplane, I always want to make sure everything is kosher before I go outside and park the camera. So everything is good. We're all magenta up here. Looks like we're in some type of speed hold mode. I believe that's what that means. Nav 1 thrust, 8.3 on the Mach. We're cruising to Kanoa. The seatbelt sign is off. Everybody is happy. Let's do a flyby view. Then we're going to turn it way down. We're going to sit outside and stare at it. Not bad at all. All right, let's turn it way down now. Let's go out here. Let's look at it from this view. Let's look at it from there. Let's turn this way down, almost off.
Subscriber ahead. Look
Let me
up.
pull up the old sounds, yeah? As we cruise on the way down to Cancun. Alright. You guys let me know if the music is too loud or too quiet. Passenger version? Wait, you'll have to pay for the passenger variant? That's news to me. I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody confirm that or not? I'll turn this down over here in my own headset. I was kind of scrambling there at the end of getting the stream ready, so I didn't get time to like make sure all my audio was set. Tri-Holder, man, she is a beauty. She is definitely a beauty from the outside. So we've been kind of talking about some of the things that we don't like. What I will tell you that I do like is the 3D model. I mean, it is very, very nice. Obviously, white liveries aren't my favorite, but as far as cargo ops, you're kind of limited to what you get for livery-wise. I do like how you have all the old passenger windows there, like you can see where they've been plugged and all that. I mean, that's very cool. I mean, that's a lot of detail when you look at this airplane. I mean, someone actually had to go in there and they were making all this stuff. So there's a lot of detail to the model. But the 3D model is pretty darn nice, if I gotta say so myself. I hear that song on Big Ernie's videos. Rotate made an announcement saying you would pay for a passenger upgrade. Okay, interesting. Captain, I really need an A300 stream. I'm trying to learn from the manual. It's definitely not as cool watching you go through it all. Ricardo, we'll probably be in the A300 again here soon. Maybe I'll put a poll up for my commercial members and we'll see if we'll do another MD-11 or A300 stream next. We may be streaming tomorrow. Here's a question. For anybody familiar with the PVA group, is there any A300 ops we could do in that thing? Because I do owe you guys an A300 or A310 stream. I do owe you one. That's on me. One thing I don't understand is this has been in beta testing for months. How are there serious bugs with the LNAV and VNAV? Surely they picked up on those issues. James, I personally cannot speak about LNAV and VNAV bugs. I have not yet encountered them. Maybe we will encounter one in VNAV on our way down, But as of right now, I haven't really seen too much to complain about. What's the difference between the MD-11 and DC-10? There's some minor differences. In fact, I think, well, the biggest thing is McDonnell Douglas took over the DC-10, right? That's how it went down. The DC-10 was first, and then McDonnell Douglas eventually took over it. DC-10's a little bit smaller. You don't have the split winglets out there. There's some cockpit differences. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know the ins and outs of the differences other than just those basic things that I told you. And that Pan Am had DC-10. So what I do like is, I mean, this view right here. Look at that little, what is that, anhedral? Anhedral or dihedral? What did you private pilots that know stuff? What is it? Anhedral? I think that's anhedral. Chris Rund, what's going on, sir? Good to have you here. He says, would be great to have the old UAL liveries for a Hawaii long haul. Oh, yeah. And the old American luxury liner bare metal. Yes, Chris. In fact, that was one of the first ones I was thinking. Oh, man, a luxury liner or the bare metal American. Heck yeah. Gino, what's up, man? Missed the start helping the boy out with his car. No worries, man. No worries. Glad to have you on board, man. Thank you for supporting the channel for 22 months. Salute to you, sir. Welcome to the stream, man. And Hegel, thank you. Captain Canada said they had not seen any of the LNAV issues. Uh-oh. What's this? Oh, Key West. Uh-oh, don't crash my sim. Cool. Let's see, what was that? Captain Canada said he had not seen any of the LNAV issues until the version they gave him on the day of first stream with it. All right. Looks like, are we doing a little rocking right now? Let's see. We might have just had a wind shift. Yeah, she's doing a little S-turn. Let's do a test here. Let's direct to Mupkey. Let's go ahead and straighten out the line. We're going to put her in a turn. We'll see how she does if we re-update the direct to. Let's see what that does. I think anhedral. Yeah, like the Antonov. Thanks, Bloomhack. I mean, look at that in the turn, though. Let me turn up the volume for this flyby here. I love seeing that third contrail, though, right? You gotta love that third Connie right there. Look at all that money just shooting out the back of this airplane. That's a good point, though. What is our fuel flow on this sucker? Fuel flow, 18, 18, 18. That's actually not bad. Is that pounds? 2, 4, 6. We're only burning 6,000 pounds. I mean, we're burning 6,000 pounds is a lot. Oh, we were kind of at idle there. Well, it's actually not all that bad. I mean, shoot the Airbus 2,000 aside. I mean, you're running a whole extra 2,000 with that third engine. Oh yeah, she's struggling now. Looks like when we did that turn there. Straighten out the line for her. Stick a dive bomb with dihedral and anhedral. DC was developed by the same company as the MD, McDonnell Douglas. It's just marketing. Yeah, because the DC-10, there was a couple crashes, right? Wasn't it DC-10 was failing, so they basically rebranded, remarketed with McDonnell Douglas? Something like that. I watched a YouTube video on that a while ago. Somebody created a non-official passenger paint kit for the MD-11. Now, that's something I'd be interested in. Someone needs to hit me up with a non-official Pan Am MD-11. That'd be sweet. Maybe you already said this, I missed it. How is the FPS? Better than the flight factor? Roller Pilot, the flight factor is hard for me to say if it's bad, because on my system now, the flight factor is quite good. I will say that if you had the Q400, when the Q400 first came out, it was a little frame heavy, and I would say that this is about the same as that. It's not light on frames. It's not a tank, but I could definitely see where some optimization would be nice. Do I have a preference for the aesthetics of the tail engine between the MD, DC, L10? Yeah, I think the L10 looks better. I think the L10 looks better when it's all the S duct, right? Is that what it is? Isn't that like something like that? The S duct, that's on the 7 too. I think the L10 had it too. I just think it looks cooler. Just a preference of mine. And plus the L1011 is very unique in some of its flight control characteristics and some of its flight control systems and how it works with direct lift control, and then how the Navy kind of took after that and how they used DLC on the Tomcat. So it's cool if you kind of know some of the geeky aeronautical engineering stuff of the L1011. A lot of that stuff was phased out with more modern aircraft like the DC-10 MD-11. So obviously it's much more, you got that inboard flap around. Well, I think the L10 had that too, but I think the L10 looks a little bit cooler just because of the way the tail is. How am I liking the MD-11 so far? I'm actually enjoying it. You know, this will be my first. This is my longest flight that I've done in it. So there'll be more. I'll have more of an opinion probably once we get into Cancun. But I will say that the flight model. I know we talked a lot about the sounds being subpar. Some of the textures, in particular, the wing textures, and the engine textures and the engine pylons. I will say though that the flight model, if you take it up, I suggest there's a quick option here on the aircraft menu. You can just start this sucker like ready for departure, and I would suggest when you first get the airplane, go on the runway, just go ready for departure, and just take off and hand fly around. And get a feeling for how she handles, because when you're flying an ILS down to 200 feet, then you turn the autopilot off and you're in wind shear and all that, you're going to want to know how it hand flies, because it's very different from say an A320 or even a 737 for that matter. Just the way that the tail is and having that third engine on the back there, it's definitely sluggish in its response. But more so than that is if you look kind of at the aerodynamic properties of the tail, it can get away from you quick if you're not careful. So I would take it up 10,000 feet, do some stalls, do a power off stall, hold it in a stall, do some turns, do some pattern work, and then you can sit down and go through the systems. As far as getting it started, you guys saw me work through it. You've seen Captain Canada do it. You've seen Q8 pilot do it. As far as getting her up and running, if you fly the Airbus on the sim, if you fly the Boeing on the sim, if you've flown the MD-80 on the sim even, you're not going to be, you don't have to be that intimidated. You've got a battery up here. And then the one thing that took me forever to find was APU power right here. It was like, I know it's on the electrical panel. If you ever get confused, each panel is segregated, right? So you have hydraulics up here on the left, that's on the top. Then you have electrical. So everything electrical is right here. Everything air is right here. Everything fuel is right here. So if you ever get overwhelmed, what are you looking for? Look for the name of the panel first, and then find it with your eyes. So APU power switch is right here. This sucker, I don't know why I couldn't find it. I just couldn't find it. It's like trying to find the APU generator on the A320. It's like, where the hell is the APU generator? Push button. And you like stare at the panel for a minute, and you're like, oh yeah, there it is. Because you never use it. But yeah, APU power there. You fire it up, you get your 8 ears aligned just like you do on the A320, 1, 2, and 3. Load up the box, and you're basically good to go. Make sure your bleed is on for engine start, and you're ready to go. So it's not too, there's a lot more to it. You can do a lot more systems wise, but just to get up and running, it's not that hard. Get a feeling for how it handles, because you're going to be doing a lot of hand flying, especially on an ILS, because the autopilot is quite weak when holding low glide slope in any gusty conditions. Pilot man, I can confirm that I did do an ILS practice approach in Bogota, because we were going to do this stream down to Bogota, and the winds were not favorable where I was at, and it just wasn't going to work out. But yeah, the autopilot did struggle for that. Could it take off with just the tail engine? I don't think it could take off. Handles like a 73 Eldorado. Team Vodka, what's up, man? Team Vodka, I saw that you posted in the food chat. I didn't get to quite see what you said just before the stream started. I hope you're enjoying your Camp Chef, man. I'm going to fire that puppy up this weekend. That Camp Chef is going to be running 24/7. Well, I wouldn't say 24/7. It's going to be running a lot, though. I got a tournament on Saturday morning, a fishing tournament. So I'm going to put pork shoulder. I'm going to do a pork shoulder like late Friday night. I'm going to throw that sucker in there, fish all day. We're going to have pork shoulder on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we're doing a couple ribs. A couple racks of ribs. It's going to be We got some people coming over, so we're going to be doing a hardcore Camp Chef this weekend. How do I bind the throttles? Is there an option for engine 3 to be controlled by another engine? Luke Hughes, you could do that. I have 3 throttles on my Bravo, but if you have 2 throttles, you could make your left. What I would suggest is make your left thrust lever, or your right one, I guess it doesn't really matter, throttle 1 and 2, and then make your right thrust lever throttle 3. Or whichever one's your favorite. Beef cheeks are at 198 degrees, should be done in a half hour. Awesome, dude. Really love the control the app gives. Yeah, that's good. Team Vodka, I'm glad you're liking it, man. Glad you're liking it. Kevin Thomas says, hey everyone, how are you? I'm doing good, man. This is not exactly related to flight operations, but what would you say are some qualities of the best flight attendants you've worked with? Curious about flight attendant. Kevin Thomas, very interesting question that you bring up, sir. Turn this down a little bit. Is it too loud? I feel like it's too loud. I'm kind of over this song, though. Good, because it's ending. What are some good qualities of flight attendants? Okay, well, a good quality for a flight attendant, you mean like as a personal quality or on the job quality? So for on the job, doing what is what's already expected to be done. So basic stuff like, you know, when the crew gets to the airplane, the pilots, they're gonna need a trash bag, they need water, and a list of the names. You know, that's just 3 basic things at any airline I've been at. It's always been the same thing. Like, you don't know each other when you get started. So get a list of names down, trash bag, waters for the crew, and you're good to go. That's, you know, just being able to take initiative and do that off the bat. You know, if we're sitting there at the gate and, you know, we're almost ready to push and I still don't have a trash bag or I don't know the names of the flight attendants. Sometimes if you come on the airplane late and, you know, you don't have a list in front of you. So just doing the little things. But as far as a personal quality kind of going into that is having integrity, you know, doing the right thing when no one is looking. You know, the crew or the captain is not always going to be there to babysit what's going on with the cabin or what's happening in the back. So having a flight attendant that you know is going to be doing the right thing, even if you're not involved in that situation, whatever it may be, is just a huge I guess load off of my shoulders, right? Because I know if I have a flight attendant that is very hard-headed and maybe a little bit more aggressive in certain areas, I know that there's potential to have some conflict with passengers, especially now. You know, we have mask mandates. Everyone has different opinions on that. It's all about de-escalating, and you want to have a good flight attendant. That's my next characteristic, is someone that is able to de-escalate a situation regardless of your own personal opinion or belief on it. And this has become huge in recent times in the years of COVID and all of the political stuff that's going on up in the air now. Like when you're on an airplane, that's all you got is each other up there. You get your flight attendants, the flight crew, and the passengers. You're all stuck on a pressure tube, 35,000 feet in the air or whatever. So you're all you have. So you want to be able to de-escalate situations. In fact, for my members, I just posted, I posted on one of the trips last week where we were holding over, I forget what intersection that was, out over the Atlantic. We held for an hour and 20 minutes trying to get into Orlando. And there was a situation brewing in the back with emergency exit rows and people who were sitting there. And I basically just told the flight attendant, I was like, look, we need to de-escalate the situation because I don't know how long we're all going to be up here and we can't go anywhere. So let's just try to de-escalate. Let's keep everybody calm, and then we can figure it out when we're on the ground. So being able to de-escalate is another quality. Even if, you know, if someone is mad at you, you got to kind of stuff your own personal emotions and remember, de-escalate, because where you are, what's your situation, all that. That's just off the top of my head. Winglets or sharklets? I don't know, Anderson. See, I would just call them winglets. Split winglets? I don't know. Just being a professional. Exactly. That's another one, simple takeoff. Being able to just be a professional. You know, do everything with professionalism. Whether it's greeting a customer or telling someone, a customer, a passenger, or telling a passenger they can't do this or you can't serve them another drink. You know, being able to do that as a professional in a professional manner is huge. This side cockpit window are huge. Yeah, that's, I mean, could you imagine the sun in there being rotating? All right, let's go inside. Let's do a little cabin tour, shall we? What's our total distance? Is there a prog page? Cool. 310 miles to go. Guys, we are clipping up here at 8.4. All right, let's do a little cabin tour, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and let's pause the music. Let's turn up the airplane again. Let's do a cabin tour. Full-blown cabin tour. So jump seat, you got a jump seat here, which is not really occupied unless you're probably doing a check ride or something, as far as I know. It's not a required crew member. Where I sat, you can see here, you know, this is pretty nice. My textures, or my shadows, excuse me, shadows are still pretty ugly. I gotta fix that. Is this an actual mirror? What's it look like up here? Oh, that's cool! You can actually see the cockpit there, and that's kind of neat. Alright, so most of the time I've flown, the cockpit door is open on the freighters, and there's a little seat back here. Here we go, here's a seat right here. Boom. And actually, if you ever do get the chance to commute on UPS or FedEx or whatever, it's pretty nice because you don't have to deal with sitting in a middle seat being cramped. You got a nice seat here. Lavatory over here. Pretty standard cabin stuff. I would say the cabin texturing is kind of like the IXEG. The IXEG 737 cabin. This looks like, is this some type of freight net? I think it is. Let's see if we can just warp ourselves through it here. Alright, we'll warp through that into the cargo. Now, I am unsure, but I believe you can actually put loaders in here. If you do, I'm pretty sure you can. I didn't take the time to do that on this stream, but I think you can actually load this up and see cargo in here. Somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong. But here's your cargo deck lights. This is the upper deck. So we'll go all the way to the back here. It's like, what is this, ventilation or fire suppression? I'd imagine this is some type of suppression system here. Castaway vibes. Oh yeah. Where do they keep the bourbon? I'll show you where they keep the bourbon, Mr. Martini, and we'll get down there in a second. This is your aft bulkhead over here. This is actually pretty noisy if you're ever back here. If you're ever back here in MD-11, it's pretty noisy back here.
Bank angle. Bank angle check. Bank angle.
Bank angle check!
The last time I flew I was thirsty and the flight attendant let me serve myself at will. Was that okay?
Diego, thank you for the $3 donation there, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. She obviously trusted you and is in a good mood, so nothing wrong with that. But thanks again for your support, man. Very much appreciated. All right, here on the lower deck, this is where we got all the bourbon, Mr. Martini. You can load it and see it loading, but it'll empty when flying. Oh, okay. Okay. I wasn't sure if it would stay while you were flying. But this is the bourbon hold down here. This is where we keep all the bourbon crates. These are rollers and tie downs down here, so I believe... Yeah, these are rollers. See all these little things here? It's kind of hard. Like, the texturing is not awesome, but that's to be expected. I wouldn't want them to waste frames on this. But these little things here, these are all rollers. So you can slide the crates on here. Ooh, what have we found here? Landing gear. This is just the third main? I think it is. This is the third main. Check out the detail on this sucker. I actually haven't even seen any of this. So there's your brake systems. Pretty cool. Your brake lines running to it. Primary and alternate brake lines. Alright, cool, cool. I assume those are brake lines that have brakes on that. And we're in... I don't know where we are now. Oh, there's... Yeah, so that was the center. Here's the main gear right. Let's look at this sucker. Pretty good detailing on this. Pretty good detailing on this. Your calipers. I don't know if they have wear pins on the MD-11. Wow. Okay. Cool. Let's continue. Let's zip to the front here. Check the tire pressure. How much wing flex should we expect? And is the model doing a good job with it so far? Matt, that you bring up a good point. I didn't see any wing flex, and I will look again when we get up top, but I know for a fact that there is wing flex on the MD-11. It's minimal, but it's there. Pretty much every freaking airplane has wing flex, okay, because you're creating lift. I mean, maybe like, shoot, even an F-16 wing flexes when you're when you're under load. So the wings seemed very rigid the last time I looked. I was a little disappointed in that. We'll double check though. We'll double check. We'll come back to that. Here's the nose gear. Nice. And I think there's an actual compartment over here, right? I think, yeah. Down here, I believe you can go down, depending on the airline, obviously. You can go down in here. Well, it's probably another secret bourbon stash. But yeah, this is definite Castaway vibes right here. Wing flex. Let's look at this. Thank you, Captain Tom. Interesting. See, there's almost zero. Right? I'm barely seeing any. Let's get a head-on shot. It looks pretty rigid. Maybe there's a little bit. I do think it could be a little bit more. There's not a lot of wing flex on the MD-11, but it does indeed have some flex. I distinctly remember seeing some, and I'm sure you can find some YouTube videos. But pretty much every wing flexes, especially passenger airline. I was off there. I was off the chat there. Thanks, Captain Tom. You're good. Here's a question. Since you're doing your proper mod duties, let me get your question. It says, V1, if you had to pick one to compete in, would you do a power on or power off landing? In my opinion, power off 180s are a lot more fun, and my power offs are a lot better. Power on or power off landings? I would do power off. I would do power off landings, man, because I feel like you can really... power off is, like you said, is more fun. Power on, though, you could get really accurate power on, because you just drag that sucker in behind the power curve, and as soon as you pull it, you're down. So I think you might be putting yourself at a disadvantage for power off, but power off is definitely more fun. The power off, you know, you really, if you're fast on a power off, you're screwed. There's really nothing else you can do. You're gonna float. All right, we should probably start looking at some flight planning stuff here for descent, right? Does QFE work? Yo, we never did set standard. Standard set was all 4.1. Wing flex is very FSX-like. It's an interesting observation. I don't know if I'm supposed to regret buying it with all the problems. Look, I'm not going to be able to tell anybody. I'm never going to tell anybody if you should buy it, shouldn't buy any module. I will tell you if you shouldn't buy one if it's that bad. I just think that, you know, I'm showing you what it is, and you're going to make your own decision with your own money. You know, everyone's in a different spot financially. If you got the money and you like the MD-11, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. If you're, you know, struggling to decide between the Fearless 747, the A310, and the MD-11, you can only buy one. I would do a little bit. I would think long and hard before pulling the trigger on that. Andre, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, sir. Says, have I ever done any plane spotting at Naval Air Station Fort Worth? I'll be out here for a month of work and already spotted some juicy fighter action earlier today. No, you know what? Matter of fact, I have not done any spotting. Not done any spotting down there. But I do imagine you'd probably see some good juice flying in and out of there, Andre. Thank you for the $10 super chat, man. I appreciate your support. Yeah, indeed. I think you're definitely going to see some good stuff down there. But I have not been down there. Thanks for the support, man. The plane will get better with time. That's, you know, that's the other thing is I totally agree with that statement. I think it's early. I think it's still early in its development. I think this is a good, I don't know if they're advertising this as a full release product, but I would honestly say this is a good beta testing version of this airplane. I don't know if maybe it's even labeled beta testing. I didn't even look. I just went to the X-Plane store. Oh, it's for sale. Boom, buy it, install it. We got to try this thing out. I got to show you guys what it's about from my perspective. And you know, from my perspective, I'd say it's a solid. It feels like it's in a solid beta state right now. That would be my way to put it. But yeah, I do think it'd probably be fixed. It's Rotate. Look how good their MD-80 is. Like, I know how good their MD-80 is, so I know they'll probably have the MD-11 right up to snuff. It's only been day one, exactly. And that's the thing too. It doesn't. I don't know how big their beta team is or whatnot, but you know, you release it to the masses, you're gonna find out a lot of stuff a lot quicker, you know, than just having 3, 4, 5, however many guys, you know, try it on beta. I think people are most butthurt because it took so long in the sound. Yeah, Jet Kid 1230. I think you've nailed it, dude. I honestly think that has a lot to do with it. I think you nailed it, man. And myself included. Okay, I'm gonna include myself on that because we've been waiting so long, and I'm not one to follow a development process very close. Like, oh yeah, I know the MD-11 is coming out. I get super excited, but I don't, you know, sit there and refresh their homepage every day to see what the status is, see the next screenshots. I really don't do that. But I think a lot of people did exactly what you thought, Jet Kid, is we've built up this our own hype within ourselves, and then if it doesn't exactly meet that level of hype, we get disappointed. We tend to take it out on developers. We say things that probably shouldn't be said or should be said with more tact. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that's true in my case. I was expecting a passenger variant, right? When I realized it was only freighter first, that was the biggest. I was like, really? And then I even thought about, should I get it? Should I not get it? And then I saw Q8 flying it. And I was like, man, it looks really good though. And then I saw Captain Canada flying it. And he did one of his landings, I think, on the pre-release day on Wednesday or whatever, one of the first streams. And it was just like the most butter of butters. It was like on the replay, it just looked so good. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get it. But yeah, I'm obviously disappointed with the sounds and some texture areas, but it is what it is. It seems like she's starting to do a little hunt mode here, but we're going to go ahead and start prepping for a descent. So give myself a little extra time here. Let's pull up the charts, not that one. Let's pull up the airport for Cancun. We no longer need Tampa. Let's pull this out. Let's go airport 10-9. Let's also go here. Let's go arrival. We're on the NOSAT 1 Bravo. And we're going to do the ILS 12 left number 2. So that's approach ILS DME 12 left number 2. Those waves make it look like we're flying sideways. There's a little bit of crosswind. Ooh, we're on this approach, really? Not an arc. All right, so we're coming in over NOSAT. Let's see if we can find ourselves. Remember, flight plan key gets you to the top here. MUP key, NOSAT. Are there altitude restrictions in here? It doesn't load the altitude restrictions by default? Max 280. Really? Oh boy, that's going to really affect our... let me pull up the data on the map here. Wait, really? It doesn't pull up the actual... Surely it does. Come on. Surely it's got it in there. Let's step through our flight plan here. I gotta try to make all the views match. Okay, it doesn't. Interesting. At the risk of flogging a dead horse, I have the INI 310 and I prefer this MD-11. There you go. See? There you go. This is interesting. Alright, speed. Let's do max 280. This is probably going to mess with our... and then Hacho, I'm going to get the speeds in there first. So We're gonna go Hacho here to... Oh, okay, so Hacho's in there. Just NOSAT wasn't in there. Okay. Interesting. Maybe it's just the way I loaded the arrival then. For some reason, Hacho didn't show. It doesn't, and don't call me Shirley. They're a bit wrong, but they're in. Interesting. What's this one? 10 and 250 Atlas. Alright, so you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to make UN 500, this bottom one here. Let's make sure this one's in here. 220, at or above 8,000. Perfect. We know that that's in there. We're probably going to miss one or two up at the top. So if you were on VATSIM, which we are, but if you actually had ATC on you right now, you would probably want to pay extra attention to your VNAV just because it doesn't appear to pull them all for some reason. So NOSAT is going to be between 20 and 22. Let's just call it an even 20. Let's do that. So 20 from 34, that's 14 times 3. 28 to 30, 42, right? 42 miles or so we should start down. So we're still okay. And in fact, and we still have a TOD up there. So I'm going to set for the bottom. Where are we going to set here? I think it's going to bottom out for us at Rydug at 3,000 feet. So I'm going to dial in, and I'm going to do it just like I do in the real airplane. I'm actually going to dial in 10,000 because I want to make sure we slow to 250 before going below 10, just as an extra reminder. I'm going to set 10,000 feet there for initial, and I believe she will nose over right when we get there. Good luck, we're all counting on you. Thank you, Key 6. I wonder if they'll ever actually fix those bugs, though. It's been in development for so long. Andre, I don't know. We'll see, man. We shall see. All right, so Rydug is in there, 3,170. So there are in there. It just feels like... I wonder if that's why it ignored some of them. Oh, well. We're good. Takeoff approach mode. Let's look here. We're going to do flaps 35 to land, 167 on the VAP. Goodness. 167, 22 elevation, field length is 91A, or 9,000 feet, good. Clean speed 220, min, 480 is our landing weight. It's like 2 321s. Crazy. All right, we're looking good. I think we're pretty much set up. We got our glide slope on. Should be fun. So I think it'll nose over on its own too. Alright, so we got a little bit more time here. Let's do some more chill. She likes to approach fast. Yeah, 167 knots. That's moving. No doubt. Got a little bit of a crab going on. Interesting point you bring there, madams. I get the idea that development was so long that reality overtook the product and a bit outdated because the time to produce was so long. That's an interesting point. Do I consider the price tag fair? I hate these types of questions because everybody has a different financial position, right? You know, what's fair for me may not be fair for somebody else. What's fair for somebody else may not be fair to me. So I hate to answer it that way, especially with what's going on. Okay, we're turning. That scared me. I thought we were going to roll over there. Y'all got me tripping now. I'm thinking the airplane's going to do a barrel roll on me or something. If you find a way to rephrase that question, maybe I can answer it better. But I just, you know, fair to me is not fair to everybody else. So it's just tough to say. What am I using for weather? Exclamation point sky is the cloud texturing, and I'm using X-Vision and Active Sky. That's all I'm using. X-Vision and Active Sky for clouds. What do I think they can improve the most upon? Listen, in my personal opinion, I hate going back to this. I'm going to keep it real short. Sounds. Give me a really high-quality sound set for this airplane, and I will consider my personal purchase 100% worth it. But I want a really good sound. I want a really good sound pack. To me, this sound pack is you know, when the Tolis 319 first dropped, I would say the sounds are kind of like that. And mostly just engine sounds. The cockpit sounds are very good. So it's not like they have to do a lot of work. Just give me a solid engine sound set, and I would consider my purchase 100% worth it. Right now, just because in my world, sounds are so huge. I almost think it's worth it because it's an MD-11, and we have been waiting a long time for a good MD-11. There you go, see? In Tyler's world, it is 100% worth it. Let's try to turn it down a little bit here. Dimitri, what's up, man? Let me put it this way. If you already have a long hauler freighter like the 310, 300, flight factor 7.6, this is a stretch both financially and in terms of using it. I'm going to read that again. Are we descending? Let me put it this way. If you already have a long hauler freighter like the 310, 300, 7.6, this is a stretch both financially and in terms of using it. Okay. Fair. I'd say Dimitri's statement is very fair. I'd say it's very fair. It is a very fair statement. See, now we're getting a little S-turn. So it looks like whenever it makes an adjust, I think it's an autopilot. Well, obviously it's an autopilot issue. It's having a hard time correcting. It's almost like it's lagging. It's almost doing its own self-induced oscillations. Let me see if I can fix this here with another direct to NOSAT. That's what it looks. That's to me like, see, the autopilot can't keep up with the flight director demand, so there's some type of computation that's lagging that really shouldn't be. All right, so we're coming up on top of descent. I think she's going to start down here pretty soon. I mean, but look at that. See, this view is freaking awesome. The 3D model is juicy. This plane with Microsoft Flight Sim would be amazing. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. I saw some of the BAE 146. My goodness. I want to fly that BAE 146 so bad in Microsoft. Oh, see, there you go. There's a little bit of wing flex. I can see it now. All right. Wow, she's really struggling. Why don't we do this? I'm gonna try to do this. We're gonna go heading. Oh, should always sync your heading bug first. Oh no, that's Mach. What am I doing? Disregard. Go back to FMS speed. Fake pilot. We'll try something here. Let's play around. Let's select heading mode. Give me heading 236 there, Mr. MD. Even the free airplanes in Microsoft Flight Sim doesn't S-turn that bad. And yeah, I think it needs to be fixed ASAP because you're going to have a lot of seasick people across the pond. I'll tell you that. You're going to have a lot of seasick people across the pond if this sucker's doing S-turns. I want to see the tracks on like VATSIM when there's 472,000 MD-11s going across the pond and they're all doing S-turns. It'll look like a sine wave or something. All right, so now I'm going to lose my top of descent though because I'm out of nav. So we're gonna help her out. I'm gonna go ahead and set 200, and let's just set vertical speed down. Let's just vertical speed down because we're a little bit behind. This was no fault to the VNAV. This was all pilot error. We were, as soon as I selected, and this is good for you to know, if you're going to take this airplane, here's the learning moment for you. If you're going to revert the aircraft to heading mode to stop the oscillation, you're going to lose your VNAV profile because the aircraft is no longer naving, so it cannot calculate its descent. So you can get very high. So make sure once you go back to nav that you either preemptively start down, so you could reset that top of descent. You can see down here, here's our descent needle. We're already behind it. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind if you start going into heading mode. I got 200 set. Is there like a flight level change in this bad boy, I wonder? What if I just pull? Yep, idle clamp 2000, here she comes. Part of me thinks that rotate releases barely, so everyone will fly by it for across the pond. Interesting, interesting. Fjord, I hope I'm saying that right. Man, I know you were Dimitri. My biggest soft spot is for tri-jets. Definitely. I know you got tri-jets and classic 4 engines. I love the tri-jets, you know. Yeah, she's going back into the oscillation mode again. Interesting. I did not experience that in one of my test flights. So it almost seems like it happened over time. And you guys saw it was working beautifully halfway through the flight. So if there's anything we can, any information we can put out there to maybe help them fix it. Ricardo, no, I use the BSS sound pack for the 321 and 319, Ricardo. I use BSS. The FTSim is good. A lot of my members, in fact, Cartage Wall, a guy that does the engine mods, he uses the FTSim pack. And there's a lot of people that like the FTSim pack better. I think it's just personal preference. I think the FTSim lacks a little bit of bass for me. I really like that meaty bass sound that the BSS brings. BSS is by no means perfect, but yeah, I use the BSS sound packs for the 21 and the 19. Would I recommend this? If you want a tri-jet long hauler and you're willing to, as long as you know what you're getting into, like you guys are seeing a little bit of an LNAV bug now. This is not a VNAV bug because that was on me. It looks like we're going to recapture the VNAV profile over here outside of Hacho, which is good. If you're willing to accept, you know, some of this little oscillation here, and you've heard the sounds on stream, then I don't think you know, it is what it is. I think you would probably enjoy it, especially if you want an MD-11 that's simulated. We didn't even get to talk about the information that comes with it. What's failures? I don't know. You got a failure stuff here, load manager. Oh, it's in the manuals. So the manuals that come with the airplane are very extensive. Very extensive. So you get a lot of information. What does about mean? Oh, cool. There you go. RotateSim. So it looks like 1, 2, 3 guys. So 3 guys put this airplane together. That's a hell of a lot better than anything I could have done with 50 guys. So oh, this is kind of a cool shot though coming out. Look at the sun. The sun just peeking there. I'm gonna direct us to Hacho. I really want to fix that. I wonder if it's a wind thing. I think the L10 was the first with the auto land. I don't know if it was the first with auto land. It might have been. I think you're right. I think you might be right on that. I feel like we should be going back to the right. What is... Okay. We're going to have to do some babysitting, folks. Let's go ahead and turn this down. Stabilizer's in motion. All right, we're going to go ahead and kill that. Let's bring the sounds back up. Let's make sure we're not doing any pilot error issues here. So, FMS, why are we so slow? Why are we so slow, dudes? 20,000 feet, 250 knots. Alright. We're going to take over manually. When the airplane's not doing what you want, I have control. Okay. We're going to level her out here. Hacho is 19 and 20, so we're just going to hold 20, I guess. What is going on here? I'm going to need some thrust, please. Power, please. Power, please. Thank you. It could be wind direction issues. You're absolutely right, Clay. Or whoever said that. What's my favorite business jet for X-Plane? Well, I mean, it's hard to beat the Hot Star Challenger, dude. It's very hard to beat that. Hot Star to the Phenom. Phenom is a lot of fun, too. I think it kind of flies under the radar because of what Hot Star brought to the table, but the Phenom is also very, very good. All right, let's do 280 on the speed. Let's dial in 10 thou. Let's do a vertical speed. Let's go auto flight AP1. Let's go heading mode. All right, so we're AP1 thrust heading 236. We're basically in basic modes now. So we're gonna heading us over to Hacho, which is at 19,000. I'm gonna just keep coming down to 10,000. I think she's gonna stabilize here on this heading. The FedEx Phenom, please no. Please no, T-Vodka, please no. Please no. Alright, so heading mode is up. If anything, this is a good training for you guys if you're going to do cross the pond in this. You're going to have to revert to vertical deviations on your own, like mental math. So we're vertical speed 1,000 here. Here's our vertical speed donut. I'm going to bring this over to Let's now. Or Diamond, I should say. I'm going to go ahead and increase vertical speed about 1,000 feet per minute here. It's starting to go away from us now. Probably, I'm going to just go right up to 1,800. Let's do 1,800 feet per minute down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to direct us to the fix after lead us, so Atmos. We're going to go enter like this, and now I'm going to sync my lines up here. So I'm going to dial my heading bug. Basically sync up on that magenta line right there. Atmos is below 14. We might be a tad high on that. That's all right. We're 290 on the speed. Coming out of 18,000 feet. Let me pull out the current Cancun weather. 29er and 9er 6. 29er 9er 6 is set once. I believe the FO is synced, and we'll set this one here. 2909er 6 is set. Winds are 16. Oh no, I'm sorry. Winds are 140 at 12. All right, not bad. All right, we're in heading mode. We're coming down. We're looking good. Funny story though, I recently dumped FedEx for DHL. Hey, Team Vodka, listen, I've been having some really good luck with DHL lately myself, man. You know, everyone was like, everybody streaming today that I've seen is FedEx, UPS. And I'm like, hey, where's DHL? Y'all forget about DHL? DHL has been on point lately, especially with my personal ordering of stuffs. Oh, good news too for the channel, guys. I finally did get some new rudder pedals. I don't have them yet, but they should be coming DHL. I paid extra for DHL, so we'll see when they get here. But yeah, my rudder pedals after flying the Apache this week are virtually. I'd probably be better off using, you know, like another side stick for rudders because they're done. They have lived a long, wonderful life. They've been through multiple moves. I've had these pedals for, geez, I don't know. I bought them when they were new. So when was that? Over a decade ago? Probably more than that. Yeah, but I'm excited for my new ones. I will let y'all know what I got. All right, now we're getting off course because of the wind. Let's come back here, 236. You know what? I'm going to try to join from a heading. So what if I do this? What if we go direct to Atmos, insert that, nav. Come on, intercept it. You can do it. You can do it. Where do I get my weather landing or weather information for landing? I got it off of Active Sky. There's a little app I can pull up. Or not app, just another window that you can't see on stream, but it tells me the landing conditions. I'm determined to get this sucker to fly straight. Right now, direct to now. There we go. Come on, baby. DHL livery is underrated among the freighters. I totally agree. And in fact, I got a little soft spot for DHL. I mean, so in my cargo days, I flew basically feeder cargo for UPS, a little bit of FedEx, but I also did a little bit of feeder work for DHL, in particular DHL in San Francisco. And there were some really awesome dudes that worked at the DHL ramp there in San Fran. Some really nice guys. So, plus one of my friends, he's since retired now, but he was actually a DHL DC-8 captain. DHL on the DC-8? I believe it was the DC-8, yeah. And you talk about stories, man. Jeez. DHL guys back in the day, they were living the dream to every extent of the phrase. And then it all went downhill pretty bad, but... Yep. It's like max banking for every turn. Maybe restrict the bank angle to 10. We'll do 5. How's that? I believe that's what that does, right? Yeah. A good observation there, Team Vodka. All right, we're getting ready to get 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and dial this back to 250 on the speed. We don't have any ATC on, so we're just going to get our lights on now. Let's get our no smoking slides on, even though we've got nobody on board. And let's go ahead and pull for selected speed, 250. Still doing a little bit there, Vodka. Bank angle check! Roller Pilots is SFO. I love that airport. It's a good airport, man. John, what's up, man? MD-11 is doing all right. She's doing MD-11 things, but she's doing all right. After you change your heading, you have to pull the heading once again to apply the change. Thank you, Anderson C. Thank you. You're right. That's right. I always forget it's like the double. It's like I gotta pull it. DHL 20 years ago sucked. They lost a lot of shipments of mine. That's when I switched to FedEx. Well, that's your world, man, right? Shipping stuff around. Rather different aircraft, but if you had to pick one, Captain, 7.2 or MD-11, well, that's an unfair question because the 727 is my favorite civil airplane. 727, man. 727. But, you know, this airplane, this MD-11, is definitely more advanced with systems-wise than what you can do with the 7.2. The 7.2 is a very basic airplane. I would love, I know we all have our wish list, but I would love like a rehaul, like a FlyJSim V3 727. I think it is on V3? No, it's on V2. Like a V3, completely redone textures and artwork, and keep the sounds. The sounds are freaking awesome. Give me a highly detailed passenger cabin, tank my frames. I would just be a pig in a you-know-what. Or maybe even a 727 with like a retrofit mod, maybe with some... I don't know if any had glass. I don't really want any glass in my 7.2, but just an overhaul. All right, we're going to S-turn our way down to the next waypoint. Sent you a little something on Discord. Dimitri, thank you, sir. I will check that out shortly after the stream, my friend. PV says, just joined Mr. Streams last week. Great to see you back. Thank you. Yeah, guys, I do apologize again for the lack of streams there for a while. There was a lot of stuff that happened. I'm not going to get into it on stream, but there's just some stuff that came up, and then everything kind of snowballed, you know? When it rains, it pours, that kind of deal. So I wasn't able to stream for a couple days, but everything is pretty much back to normal now. So things are looking up, and I think next month, April, we're going to have a lot of time to do some streaming as well, so we'll see. How long is the flight? We are not much longer, Knox. We are on our descent here. We're at 10,000 feet. I'm kind of nervous to see what she's going to do on this 90-degree turn. In fact, I'm just going to go heading mode all the way. Let's just do that. All right, let's dial up 215. Oh, no. Heading 214. Decrease range out of 8,000. So let's go ahead and set 8,000. And then we're going to pull basically for open descent, idle clamp. Idle clamp is basically thrust idle. Think of it that way. Airbus term. MD-11 Iran cargo livery. Ooh, that'd be nice.
Altitude.
I'm curious. I'm going to see if I can do a poll here. I'm going to poll you guys, since we got about 300 or so of you in chat. Number one, if you like this content, if you like what I'm doing here on the channel, please do hit the like button for me. I'm going to go flaps or slats 1, I guess. If you like this kind of content, if you like civvy stuff, if you like the MD-11, if you like the 7.2, if you like Airbus specifically, hit the like button for me, because it does indeed help the channel, especially on a channel like mine where I don't have like a set schedule, and I just I gotta stream when I have time. And if you're unaware, I do stream from an office because my internet is so bad at the house. We have the V1 HQ now here, the office space. So if you like this stuff, do me a solid, hit the like button, because it does in fact help the channel. I appreciate you. And then there's a little poll for you in chat. It's kind of a touchy subject. I know there's multiple streamers. I know Flight Deck to Sim, he started a second channel for just doing other gaming stuff, and I'm not so interested in doing completely different gaming, but I am a huge fan of DCS and Digital Combat Simulator, and I just trying to gauge what you guys think here. We got a good number in chat, so hit the poll for me. Just give me an idea if you would be even interested in seeing some of that content from the Digital Combat Simulator world. Because on a personal level, I do enjoy it a lot. I've never really streamed it. I think I did a few streams, maybe a couple videos. But just curious what you guys think. We'll leave that up for a little. We'll let that poll marinate. All right, we're coming in here. We're heading this manually here. I think there was a speed limit once we come down here, max 200. So let's go ahead and dial her back. I'm going to slow up to 200 knots. And pull it to select it. I'm going to increase bank angle to 20. Else we'll never make these turns here. Alright, there's NCP-09. That's on the approach, so I'm pretty much done with that. This is not the right chart. I did not pick the right chart there.
Stabilizer motion.
That doesn't look like the right one either, to be honest with you. That's not the right one either. Maybe it was that first one with the procedure turn. We'll keep this one up. Basically, we've got to be at 2,000 when we turn inbound. Flaps 14 coming out. John, you said you watched some of the older DCS videos. They were awesome. Thanks, man. You'd even watch some Falcon BMS content. Oh, now you're really digging. I don't have that sim installed anymore, man, unfortunately. All right, we're going to, of course, I want to fly somewhere where it's supposed to be sunny and pretty, and it's completely overcast. Is this for real? Oh, you know what? It's not. I wasn't in live weather mode, guys. This might really screw it up here. We're going to go live weather mode. Airplane don't stall. Airplane don't stall. Wow. 160 at 12 now. Broken at 7,000. 2.9er, 8.9er. That's why we were set up for the wrong runway. In Tampa. Alright, 2.9er, 8.9er is set. That's on me. Alright, 200, we got flaps 14 is set. I think we're a little bit slow. Can we go even another notch? Oh no, 28 is going to trip the landing gear, isn't it? I think this is noob mistake here. Want to descend to 3,000. Stabilizer motion. Alright, 3,000. Here we go. Let's dial this back to 190. Spoid brake is armed. It is good. Okay, easy there on the speed. Oh, it won't let me. Easy there on the speed, Tiger. What's our outside air temp? Plus 21, so we don't need any engine anti-ice. We're going to basically swing this wide and then we'll come back around. Make sure the volumes are up. Just had the MD-11 invert in flight. Uh-oh. V1, my CFI back in the 90th told me he was co-pilot on 727 cargo in the U.S. when he asked his captain whether he has ever stalled a 727. He replied, "Kids stalling a 727 is like driving a school bus over a cliff." Oh, man. Yeah, I would imagine, you know, they had a lot of issues. I wouldn't say a lot, but I think that's when they restricted the landing flap, right? Because I think initially when the 727 came out, you could go full flap. Forget what the degree is, but then they actually had several incidents, and then they started restricting that for maintenance only, or basically you couldn't go past flaps 30. Is that it? Whatever the second to last notch is there on the 7.2. All right, I'm going to come back to 180, and we're going to increase our bank angle 25 degrees. All right, 1,000 feet to level off. NCP 9er is there. We're traveling outbound. Let's look at our approach speed one more time. VAP is 166, so we're looking good. I'm going to go ahead and as soon as we level or start to level, I'm going to spin us around here to intercept. So right now, 173, let's go ahead and pull it. Make it 170. We're in the turn. We're 200, thrust heading 173. In fact, I'm going to clean up the box here with a direct to NCP09 just to clean up the box. We're in the turn. Of course, we got to do this complete IMC. Looks like we're starting to see something out there. We're 28 on the TAT, so we don't need any engine anti-ice. We're looking good. There you go, Alfrex. That link right there. Everything about my clouds. We'll use the same. Exclamation point sky. One thing I will say is flying these heavier jets, like the MD-11 now and the Fila 7.4, I really want to get that Thrustmaster pendular yoke. I've been watching so many streams now, everybody's got it. I'm like, man, that looks good. Because it is such a different, if you think about it, the way that moves versus how the honeycomb moves, you know, straight in and out, it is substantially different. All right, we actually need to set up to dial up the loc here. So let's go here. Can I go FMS profile speed? Okay, good. She's coming back to 170. That's good. Let's go approach land mode. So loc is armed. Glide slope is up there. Speed is coming back. I was not anticipating doing a full-blown ILS approach here, but I guess we are. Alright, speed should hold 170. That's good. We'll go gear down, config full, approaching an NCP09. We should be on an intercept heading. Looking good. Happy to see Bitching Betty expanding her horizons beyond the Mad Dog. Dimitri, yes indeed, sir. Yes indeed. Roby Wilson, you're welcome, man. Glad you're enjoying the stick, dude. Glad you're enjoying it. Alright, glide slope alive. We're going to be a little bit high, I can tell right now. So I'm going to go ahead and dial up 2,500. Come on, pull it. I need to start down. Because, see, the glide slope is coming in before the loc. That's no bueno. Altitude check, we're going down to 2,000 feet. There is the glide slope. Now it's just going to run away from us. That's okay. I want to capture the loc. She will not capture the glide slope before the localizer. No airplane will. At least it shouldn't. 2,500 feet, radio altimeter alive. Check. Here comes our 2,000 foot. I hate to go gear down in level flight. I'm waiting until we can... Alright, let's go gear down. Where's my Loke?
Stabilizer motion.
That's
Landing
me.
Gear.
Check. Landing gear check. I was a little late on that. Rookie move there.
Landing gear.
166 approach speed is set. Gear down, 3 green. Flaps are 35 for landing. We're good. Loke is captured. Glide slope is coming down. We're looking good, folks. Yeah, Roby, it is spendy. I've spent so much money recently on my sim stuff. I'm banned from buying any more, so I'm gonna have to deal with the honeycomb for now. But indeed. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close that poll for landing here, so I can actually get that. How can I close it? Can I end poll? Cool. Thank you for your votes on that. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. We are coming in now. I don't see anything. Look at that. Goodness. Look at the freaking AOA on this sucker. Holy. I feel like that's a little slow. Straighten out that heading bug. Dual land. Glide slope. Loke. Where's my airport at? Yeah, Robbie, that's what I would do. I would go yoke without the throttle, 100%. 100%. All right, let me go yoke cam on for y'all so you can see what we're doing here.
1,000.
All right, we're at 1,000 stable. I'm still waiting for the runway. But yeah, that's why I love the Bravo. I got 3 levers on there. It's so nice. Now, the reverse thrust is not working for me with my current bindings, so we're going to pretty much have idle reverse and manual brakes. All right, I can see the runway. Autopilot's coming off.
Autopilot.
2 clicks of the autopilot disconnect to silence the warning. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Disconnect the auto thrust as well.
500.
I need to capture it with the orange levers. There we go.
400. Approaching minimum.
Insight landing. A little bit high, correcting.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Today.
10.
Oh, jeez. Reverse screen. Manual brakes. Wow, my rudders are very, very difficult to manipulate here. Hey, I'll take a 215 for my first landing. Look at that. In an Airbus, you could make that turn off easy, no matter what. In fact, I don't think I've ever taken the last turn in an Airbus. And why was I? And I didn't. I mean, I floated a little bit, but floated a little bit there for sure. But I still, even in a 321, you'd make that first turn off. Just the mass on this sucker is awesome. All right, remember, watch your ground speed when you make these turns here. Really got to slow it down. 15 knots. I really want to be about 10 knots or so if you're doing a 90-degree turn. This one's not quite 90, so we're looking good here at 12. Sounds like the original Star Trek computer. It sure does. And the MD-11 bounce. Indeed. We definitely had a little bit of an MD-11 bounce there. Just made it right on the landing thing? Awesome, man. All right, we're going to go ahead and clear it up. Clear the runway here. We'll go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and get rid of this. We'll go ahead and... Oh, that should have disarmed. I think I just taxied into the dirt, but don't worry about it. Seemed pretty buttery to me. It seemed a little bit more... Yeah, it didn't seem quite like a 215. We'll have to check the replay on that. I definitely got unstable there. Or not unstable, but like... I was twitchy. I did not follow straight down. I don't know what the current winds are. Probably should have double checked. 12 knot crosswind, so... You know, 12 knots in X-plane is like 20 knots in real life, but... I think it's just lack of practice. That was my third ever landing in this airplane, so I'll take it though. Up and over the bridge, Kwadi Mundi salutes. If you remember in chat, I need a Kwadi Mundi salute. This is where it happened. Right here. We'll call this Kwadi... what is it? Kuta Mundi? Kwadi? I think it's Kwadi Mundi. Kwadi Mundi salutes. Right here on the bridge. Kwadi Mundi Bridge. Right here. Never forget. Dennis Jackson said, I would like to know how you set up the reverse thrust on the Bravo for this. Dennis Jackson, so the way I have mine set up, it does not work like it should. So I have the, let me show you here. So basically I've got the Boeing levers installed. Now I'm going to do it with engine 3 so you guys can see it. So this should toggle reverse. So it does. It toggles reverse, okay? Now when I go down, I have it selected to hold reverse 3 at max, but it does not do that. It does not work. The binding or the data ref or whatever it is does not work as it should. So basically we've been using idle reverse. If somebody in chat has a remedy to that, let me know. And I have it bound properly. I tried both bindings. I tried the default X-plane 11, like hold reverse thrust at max, and then I also put it on the reverse thrust at max from the rotate version of data ref, and it still does not work properly. So we will I'll have to check that out again later. Nice, man. Setting up reverse thrust on the Bravo X-plane is such a pain. Really? I haven't had issues with it. I just use toggle and then that button down to hold at max, and it seems to work for most everything. I don't know why it would be different on this airplane. Like, it works just fine on the 727. It works fine in everything else. It works fine on the narrow body buses. Oh, so... But I have to see. Instead of taxiing all the way down to the cargo ramp, we're just going to take this turn in right here. We'll go ahead and fire up the APU. Oh, that's the wrong button. Go ahead and fire up the APU. Ailerons tend to win. Appreciate it, man. Jeff Bear, you liking your side stick? Awesome. Glad to hear it, dude. Glad to hear it. Alright, let's get her straight here. What are we looking at? M11. I like that. Let's get her nice and straight. Can't really see the sign. Let's zoom in. I'm gonna trust the sign, so if we're off, blame the sign. 1.2 meters, come a little right, correcting. Still want me to go right? All right. Oh, I stopped before it even said stop. That means it's even more perfect. Here we go. Stop. Brake set. APU is still starting, so we're going to go ahead and let's give it a second. There it is. Let's go ahead and bring them down. Left the taxi light on like a noob. Dennis. Nice. Hi from Portugal. What's up? Welcome. Spin it down. Beacon light can come off. Should have turned that off. Time is 23:06. All right. Let's take a look at that replay, shall we? Let's go replay mode here. Let's go replay mode here. Disconnected from VATSIM. Let's see how bad we did. Oh, it's good right here on short final. We'll watch it from this view first. The engine switches look very satisfying. Yeah, they do. See, now this I like. I like the slats. They look good. little bit of a floater out there. That's a 145, a little bit of a bounce. Possibly a bug on replay. Nope, they work on, I don't know, we'll see. It seemed to work there. Oh, you have to put the flaps out every time? Interesting. So the flaps, I think they extend every replay. Interesting. That one said 280, that one said 145. There's a couple of 7.2s over there, some real airplanes. Alright, let's back it all the way up. Let's watch it from outside, because the inside, now that flap, this looks good. I think this looks really good right here. I will say that. Alright, let's play it. Almost looked like we were a little slow. Almost looked like we were a little slow. A little bit of a crosswind. Tried to decrab, just floated. Ooh, yeah, we're a little off center line there. Tried to decrab. Now I couldn't get... Oh man, I need a rudder cam so you guys can see what I'm dealing with. But I won't have that excuse for much longer. I won't have that excuse for much longer because I got some new pedals on the way. I'm very excited about them. I will show you guys all about it, how I set them up when I get them. Until then, I'm going to leave you guys with a couple of replays here as we finish up in Cancun, Mexico. I was going to take the next stream in the MD-11. I was going to go down to Cancun, but I don't know if I can do this S-turning back and forth. Just me personally. But we might be in the A300, A310 because I owe you guys an I&I stream. I sure do. As far as the MD-11 is concerned, I like the way it hand flies. I think she hand flies good. Definitely need some more practice on my end on flying it. Are a couple bugs. And the sounds are, I would say, below average for the price point. That would be my final conclusion. In my personal world, is it worth the money? In my personal world, I can't give you a definitive answer on that. I enjoy flying it, but I'm actually going to probably be hangering this airplane until some of the little quirks get fixed. But that's just me personally. Everybody has their own opinion, right? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this flight. Thank you, all my mods, for hanging out on the channel, keeping the chat line, keeping the spam out of here. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the new memberships and the new subscribers. I do appreciate every single one of you. And if you guys are just hanging out with me in chat here, hit the like button for me on the way out before you do leave. Because, like I said, it does indeed help the channel. And I do appreciate it very, very much. All right, guys. Have a safe, wonderful evening wherever you may be watching from. Until next time, possibly tomorrow. Oh yeah, look at that. Now that view is juice. That view is absolute juice right there. Until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya! Yeah, I don't know what that sign was telling me to do. Way off.